Thank you. I'm doing this without slides, which is very atypical for me to listen to yet. I just want to thank each of you. I've been lampooned by a lot of people, Mark is a master. Clearly, I helped choose the right person. I want to thank Gary for putting this all together, and I want to thank Bill Shear for writing that article about me and all my friends in this profession. This has been a great ride. What can I say about those who are really important to me? My 3 children, Robin, Ben, and Juan, my soulmate, Dr. Martha Rendon. It really took a while to realize that I wasn't the smartest one in my house. So it's hard to deal with. My best friend for over 48 years flew up here, Jeffrey and his wife Lori, and I honor them because together they've been there for me up and down for a lot of things. And anytime I needed them, I was there. My mother, my sister Wendy have always pushed and cheered for me along the way, and a lot of times got in the way and pushed me. Maybe figure out a way to get around it, so I think that was helpful. It's kind of humbling that just a few blocks away I entered the halls of the Pennsylvania College of Podiatric Medicine in August of '94. 32 years of my life has been spent with an obsession of pedal dynamics, how, why they function, how they propel us. And that was just the beginning of what became. I remember one day in our first year of school, I went to the movies because my brain was just burned down. I went to see the movie 10. Now, some of the older people in the room might remember that with Dougie Moore and Bo Derek. And I remember watching the movie and walking out going, when Bo Derek was running down the beach and everybody was watching other things bouncing, I was looking at the internal rotation of her left knee. Which was really strange until I went to school the next day and was talking to my friend Chris Marugos, and he said he noticed the same thing. So we are a different group of people. But throughout the years, I've had many, many people to thank for putting up with me, yelling at me, guiding me, pushing me to be the strongest I can be. My classmates, my fellow residents, Dr. Greg Young, my residency director. I remember my residency interview, he wanted to know, would I go out drinking with everyone? Now, the residency program is in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm being interviewed by Dr. Young. I don't know how to answer that question, right? I guess I got the right answer, so that worked out well. And took me to my second and third years of training. Dr. Robert Weber sitting next to him for his guidance into the world of podiatric politics and his mentorship throughout my tenure and presidency of the American College of Foot and Ankle Orthopedics and Medicine. Dr. Jack Morgan couldn't be here, but Jack played a large role in my life in his enlightenment into the business of medicine. The dictum that you can't help anyone if you can't pay the bills and keep the doors open. Jack also taught me that the dollar sign was so much more than an S with 2 lines through it, and that cash was not cold or hard. It was soft and warm. And cash goes with every outfit. I mean, I don't know what outfit cash doesn't go with. Cash is good. And he taught me that to really love or really like the things money can buy, to learn to love the things that money can't buy. Money can buy you a companion, but it can't buy you a friend. Money can buy you a home, a house, but it can't buy you a home. So, like money, love the things money can do. This started a circle of life that began with me starting podiatry school, progressed from the training of my mind to the training of my hands, and then to training of my inner spirit. Kind of like remember the movie Jerry Maguire, Fighting the Quam, and all this has been involved for me. You know, I remember 20 years ago or so, I had a conversation with Howard Vogler in a seminar who told me, "Come on, Steve, you won't know what you're doing if you've been doing it for 25 years." And I thought, how ridiculous. And he was right. It's kind of weird that you gotta be doing it for a while to really get it. I felt I had a great career, and my circle of life doesn't ever close, but my experience in podiatry, from a surgeon to a politician to an educator, and now as a patient, has given me a huge new dynamic. So I think I found the qualm in this profession. My quest for success has been out of a simple and thought called CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. How can I make each moment of each day better than the day before? And the idea is to grow. And then each year, I realized that I would set aside some time to go to a seminar that wasn't related to podiatry. I would go to Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Jay Abrahams, and it was fascinating to go to a world where people were so excited about everything they did. And I got a lot out of it. I realized at that point, success leaves clues, which prompted a lot of the, we'll get to some stuff in a second, but on May 20th, I was knocked unconscious in 2005 while volunteering with the U.S. Coast Guard. I was on a boat, I was knocked unconscious, and the Coast Guard captain overshot the air and crashed. And I was knocked unconscious for about 8 minutes, and I awoke to this big spotlight First thing I remember, and the seat tow operator was there. And I'm thinking to myself, could God be a seat tow operator? I wasn't sure. But eventually I got myself together, and I quickly learned that I was in a sinking boat. It was night. I was paralyzed below the waist. And I realized that I could really freak out and focus on, holy shit, look what happened to me. Or say, okay, let's figure out what we do here. And I started assessing my body, made sure there was no bleeding anywhere. I didn't know if I penetrated anything. So a quick survey of my body, didn't find any blood, which was a good feeling. A couple minutes later, another Coast Guard boat arrived, and at that point, dying wasn't an issue. I didn't think about it. I never really felt scared until the paramedics decided they were going to take me to another hospital, not the one I was on staff at. And I know the bozos who work at that hospital were terrified me. I had to learn to focus on what I can control, what I can get upset about, and what I couldn't get upset about. And that was a lesson in life I'd love to impart on everyone. This lesson is something you get invited to share in the future. Hopefully I'll be able to present this. I went through medical errors, 20 hours of surgery, on Lovenox, getting DVT, having a pulmonary embolism, having my feet operated on, my ankles operated, having a cervical fusion, it goes on and on. It's incredible being a patient, and it's something we all should at least think about just for a short period of time. The circle was complete, and I found that you really find success. You figure it out, that when you figure out that failure is an event, and yesterday really ended last night. You make friends with your past, you focus on your present, and you remain optimistic on your future. You're successful when you realize that a win doesn't make you, nor does a loss, a failure, break you. You're successful when you're content with who you are, and you give love to those who are important to you. You're successful when you can give encouragement to those who are disencouraged. You're successful when you can look back with forgiveness, forward with hope, down with compassion, and up with gratitude. While success may be considered the top for many, it's really the bottom. It's the foundation on which you build any career. As I go forward in my next phase of life, I know that the foundation is stable, with my orthotics posted appropriately. Podiatric success as Meet the Masters remains an outpouring of my commitment and my contribution to this profession. I often sit back in my boat, cold rum drink in my hand, and realize how lucky I am to know so many incredible people, and be able to synthesize that greatness from each and every one of them, and hopefully try to deliver it wherever we do well. I look forward, unafraid of my future, and of course, I'm never going to let anyone else ride my boat. Thank you all very much. Thank you.